be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, as we forgive our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Mr. Gonsalas with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Tommy Pollard.
Here.
Michael Landry.
Here.
Tommy Landry. Lloyd Brown.
Here.
Warren Gottschalk.
Here.
Natalie Broussard.
Here.
Paul Landry.
Here.
Ricky Gonsalas.
Here.
Joe Dugas.
Here.
Eugene Olivier. Brian Napier.
Here.
Berwick Francis. Marty Trahan.
Here.
Chad Montreal.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Mr. Berwick Francis, Mr. Eugene Olivier, Mr. Tommy Landry will be absent this meeting. And the parish president is going to be out today. Okay, public comments. I need a motion and a second to go into public comments. I have a motion by Mr. Brown, a second by Mr. Gonsalas. Mr. Brown? Okay, roll call. That motion passes. We're now in public comments. Public comments, item number 1, comments from the general public on non-agenda items. We don't have any of the forms filled out for that, so we'll go on to item number 2, comments from the general public on agenda items. Item number 1, persons being considered for appointment to the parish boards and commissions to address the council. The first is Mr. Cornel DeCluet with the Generate Veterans. Is he here today? Okay, Miss Kathleen Courts with the Library Board. Miss Court? Okay, if you could come up to the podium and... Yeah.
Good evening, Council. My name is Catherine Kitty Court, and the reason I'm here, I'm reapplying for my seat on the Iberia Parish Library Board from District 11. And the reason I feel I need to serve on the library board is because I deeply believe and have a passion for libraries, that they are becoming centers of culture and entertainment and information for the people, and we need to keep our libraries moving in order to serve the people of Iberia Parish. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, does anybody have any questions? Okay, we'll move on to Miss Natalie LaRoe. And let me, before you get started, if we'll notice, there is a 3-minute time limit on everybody, so it should be plenty, but okay, thank you. Introduce yourself, please.
Yes. Good evening, Council. My name is Natalie LaRue. I'm from New Iberia, Louisiana, and I am looking to serve on the board at the Library Board.
Okay.
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have listed Mr. Casey Thibodeau. Is he, Casey in? Okay, not seeing Casey. We have Mr. Chad Hazelwood for the constable appointment. Mr. Chad, just come up to the podium.
Good evening to each of you, and thank y'all for this opportunity to come in here and address y'all tonight. My name is Chad Hazelwood, and I was seeking the constable appointment in District 9. Most of y'all received my resume, so I'm not going to take a bunch of time here because I'm sure y'all have done y'all due diligence. But I'm from the community of Laurelville. I'm invested there. My wife with me from the community. I'm a graduate of Laurelville High School. We're raising our family there. Our son's graduated Laurelville High School, works for our family automotive garage. I'm a local businessman in the community. My background is law enforcement and public service. I grew up in a home of public service, and I wish to continue to bring my talents forward and serve the community. Got 25 years in law enforcement. I'm a post-certified level 1 deputy. Some of you noticed my training. So I've heard that overqualified and my qualifications and a lot about it. But I've trained at Quantico. I'm a graduate of DEA Basic Narcotics Academy. I'm a graduate of the Institute Police Technology and Management at the University of North Florida. I've attended the National Police Institute, specializing in gangs in Dallas, Texas. You've seen my awards and accommodations. It's kind of hard to come up here and talk about myself in that that light, but I'm very proud of my accomplishments in my career, and I just wish and have a desire to continue to serve and just pay it forward. I have a talent, and I just want to bring it forward to my community and just continue to serve in that capacity of providing law enforcement and my expertise. Like I said, I am post-certified. I remain post-certified. I keep that up to date. I think that's another aspect I can bring to the constable's office that I don't think our district has ever seen, where I could actually not only serve the everyday duties of the constable, but I could serve in an enforcement and public safety capacity. I think that's a benefit to the community. And I want to thank our mayor and one of the aldermen here tonight that came to support me. I'm very active in the community. I volunteer my time last 20 years. I'm a board member of the Louisville Quarterback Club. I've been a baseball coach, football coach. I'm a board member of the Louisville Football League. I'm the current sitting president for the Lake Dotree Hunting Club, and I chair many charity events in the community. So I'm very active, and I want to remain active in this capacity as well. I just appreciate your time tonight, and thank you for your consideration.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Hazelwood. And that's it that I have for the agenda. Now I need a motion and a second to go back into regular session. I have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Mr. Brown. Roll call. Mr. Gaushasan? Mr. Gonsolin? Okay, the motion passes. We're back in regular session. Reports, Finance, and Administration action. Item number 1, balance sheet for May 2018 is on request. Item number 2, budget report for May 2018 on request. It's in your packets. Reports, parish, other governmental agencies. Item number 1, monthly billing report dated 2018. Public Works report. Item number 1, Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated June 18th to 22nd and the 25th to the 29th, 2018 is in your packet. Oh, okay. Okay. So what do we do? Okay. He's not here yet. He's not here. He's not here. Since I used to sit out in the audience and have to leave for executive session, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and skip that executive session, and we're going to try to run through the agenda real quick so that the people that are here for the parish's business doesn't have to sit out in the hall. So at this point, we're going to go to council member announcements. Does anybody have any announcements in the council? Mr. Gaushasan.
I'd just like to congratulate the new law enforcement that took office in town. We see a big presence in town, and I think a lot of the people are excited about it. And I also like to thank the sheriff's office for the job that they did and representing the city. Just quick and brief. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good. That's it. Okay, do we have anybody else council announcements? We'll move on to the parish president's announcements. Mr. Saunier.
Mr. Guru is going to give you a brief overview of our position as it relates to sales taxes.
So we've collected so far 6 months worth of sales taxes, and just to let y'all know, I know y'all all remember when we did the budget adoptions earlier this year, well, late last year, we had actually adopted decreases on all of our sales taxes. Economic Development District, for 6 months in, they're at a decline of right at about 3.6%, and we had actually budgeted a 10% decline there. So it's not as bad as, you know, we had originally anticipated there. The sales tax fund, which is actually the garbage, the majority of that is used to fund the garbage operations. We're actually, 6 months in, we're at 4.42% positive growth. And 6 months in, we actually budgeted for a decline of 7.5%. The mosquito fund, 6 months in, we're at 1.88% growth, and there we had budgeted for a 5% decline. And recreation is at 2.89% positive. 6 months in, and we had actually budgeted for a 3% decline. So when you take that into consideration, you know, it gives a little bit more positive outlook to where we're sitting.
We have a question for you, Mr. Gonsalves.
Kim, is that compared to the 10-year average or compared to last year's fiscal year?
Just 1 year.
Just 1 year's
Yeah,
fiscal-
yeah, I'm
okay.
comparing month to month.
Okay, month to month.
Between 17 and 18.
Okay, all right.
You can provide us a copy of that if you don't mind, by email if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Gostisam?
Kimberly, what about royalty? Do you have those numbers offhand of what we've?
Royalty, we've only received 1 quarter thus far. We won't receive the second quarter. It should be any day now.
Was it
Like,
close to
very-
expectations for the first quarter?
The first quarter was lower.
Lower than what
The
we've?
first quarter was lower.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? Okay, we're going to move on to consent agenda items. Summary number 126, introduced by Recreation and Playground District, a resolution proclaiming the month of July 2018 as Parks and Recreation Month in Iberia Parish. Summary number 127, introduced by the parish president, a resolution authorizing the execution of a cooperative agreement to support and administer Louisiana cooperative units off campus beginning July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2023, which agreement reflects grant funding from the parish to the Iberia Parish LSU Extension Service Office each year. And item summary number 128, introduced by the Fire Protector District Number 1, a resolution declaring miscellaneous office equipment as surplus property and further authorizing disposal of same in accordance with parish policy and state law as requested by the State Fire Protection District Number 1. Okay, is there any items that anyone would be interested in taking off? Ms. Broussard? Okay, Mr. Napier? Okay. Okay, then let's have a roll call.
We have a motion and a second?
Oh, Ms. Broussard made the motion, Mr. Gonsalves made the second. Roll call. That motion passes. Ordinance introduced for public hearing and adoption, summary number 4913, introduced by Warren P. Gostisam Jr., District 5, an ordinance amending Chapter 15 of the compiled ordinances of Iberia Parish, Louisiana by adding additional sections thereof relating to the registration, installation, and operation of burglar alarms in commercial buildings or structures, to provide for the effective date thereof, to otherwise provide respect thereof. Note, this was tabled from the June 13th, 2000 meeting. Have a motion by Mr. Gostisam and a second by Mr. Gonsalves. Mr. Gostisam?
Mr. Chairman, with respect to the council, I'd like to lay on the table until we can pull back off when we're ready, so we can stop publicating it. There were some more people that would like to join in on the conversation as far as the service providers around the area.
Okay.
I'll be ready to offer that when you want, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I'll go on to Mr. Gonsalves.
Mr. Gostisam, do you have a specific timetable that we can maybe readdress this, or it's just open-ended?
That's why I requested of the council to lay on the table with no specific date.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Brown.
That answered my question. That's what I wanted to know, if you had a date, because look like it's going to take some time for this.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Gostisam. I need a second. Mr. Gonsalves, roll call. That motion passes to table for the future. Resolutions introduced for public hearing and adoption, summary number 129, introduced by Planning Commission, a resolution granting preliminary and final approval to Bayou subdivision consisting of 3 lots fronting on Bayou to Bayou Road in District 9. All is recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission. Note, a motion to suspend the rules will be needed for this item, as it was not considered by the Public Works Committee. So we're going to start out with a motion and a second to suspend the rules. I have a motion by Mr. Napier, a second by Mr. Gonsalves. Mr. Napier?
Mr. Chairman, I was not present at the last meeting. I just got a quick question, if you can. This one, the next one, and the next one is all asking that. Can I just ask, why we at that point? Why didn't it go to the committees?
Mr. Scott?
Yeah, this one in particular, Brian, is the one that the commission passed, Planning and Zoning Commission. It came to y'all. Y'all sent it back because it needed to be rezoned. So the property owners have gone through that entire process, have rezoned it, it's been accepted. So to send it back any further simply delays the landowner's opportunity to move forward with the sale of the property. It would mean nothing outside of delay.
No, and I understand, I thought we had seen it before. Is that the same thing for the next two while I'm asking?
Yeah.
Or should I
pretty
exit
much.
at that time?
Yeah, they've gone through the same process.
All three of these?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Scott.
Okay.
Mr. Gonsalas?
I'll waive my.
Okay, Mr. Goshasan?
One quick question, maybe from Andy. Andy, if something's reported favorably from planning and zoning, shouldn't it go to the full council for at least its 2 weeks of publication, and then we address it instead of it having 2 steps?
Look, I think that would have some merit.
Okay.
I think your ordinance is not real clear on what.
I mean, it
when
just takes,
should
the
come.
process takes way too long for most of these people
Look,
that want.
I don't disagree with that. And this may be one that you might want to consider putting on the consent agenda.
Okay.
Maybe one you want to allow to come directly to the council without necessity of going to committee.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Goshasan? Gonsalas?
No, I was just reiterating what Warren said. We discussed that previously about eliminating that committee step, and it's a valid point to take, and I think it's worth addressing at the full council and creating some, because it would eliminate some lost time for developers and property owners in
It
this
still doesn't
parish.
take the publication
Right,
away.
you know,
I mean,
I've
yeah.
always iterated that, you know, when the planning and zoning makes a decision, it's just straight to the council, and me and Mr. Brown had talked about that previously, so I think it has some merit to address, absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Dugan?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think with the appointment of the new planning and zoning director, we're gonna be having some positive results from this type of thing. So I'd like to make the motion to suspend the rules to get this going.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Dugan to suspend and a second by Mr. Trahan. Okay, roll call. Okay, that motion passes. We've suspended the rules. Now I need a motion and a second on the item. I have a motion by Mr. Gonsalas and a second by Mr. Dugan. Mr. Gonsalas?
Waive.
Mr. Dugan? Okay, roll call. That motion passes. So now we're going to move on to summary number 130, introduced by the clerk of the council, a resolution appointing one person as the interim constable, justice of the peace, Ward 3, to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Benjamin Hoffpower, which became effective July 1st, 2018. Applications of interest on file is A, Jack Clifton, and B, Chad Hazelwood. Note, a motion to suspend the rules will be needed for this item as it was not considered by the executive committee. The reason we're not going through executive committee is we had a very tight line. So, you know, right, to get all this done. So we have to have it done before July 20th. So I have a motion by Mr. Gonsalas and a second by Mr. Napier. To suspend the rules. Yep. Okay, roll call. Okay, that passes. We've suspended the rules. Now we'll be voting, on the two individuals. Right, but, okay. Yeah, on, do I need a motion in a second? Okay, we're gonna be ballot voting on this, and it's gonna take eight votes. 8 out of 14. Can we have discussion? And we were going through the voting process. We've been asked if we could have some discussion. Can we open it up for discussion?
If that's the pleasure of the council.
No objections? Okay. Mr. Trahan?
I'd like to hear from the mayor on his comments on what he believes.
Mayor of Lorville?
Yes, Mayor Lorville.
Oh, Mr. Brad, I'll acknowledge you if you want to come up.
Mr. Trahan, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak. I am here to voice my support for Chad Hazelwood. It gives the village of Laurelville an opportunity to have a constable and put the constable position in a dynamic situation. With all his qualifications that he was here explaining, and as y'all seen on his resume, it gives us an opportunity to give our sheriff's deputy that patrols the village of Laurelville by himself an opportunity to be able to call on someone first and foremost with all the qualifications that he has. It also gives me a peace of mind that I also have someone else to go to for situations in a law enforcement capacity. I think Chad's qualifications speak for themselves. His involvement in the community also speaks for itself. I serve on boards with Chad, football. We coach football together. Baseball is the same way. He's in the community. He's on Main Street just about every day. So he'll be easy access for our sheriff's deputy. So I really hope y'all consider appointing him to this position because it really, really helped the village out. Any questions?
No, thank you for your comments.
Thank y'all.
Okay, has everybody voted?
No, I still have requested the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Broussard?
Yes, it's my understanding that Mr. Clifton didn't realize he had to fill out a form. Did you want to speak, or you?
I wasn't sure what the procedure was. I thought I was basically invited in here to do this, but
I'm yielding to you, Mr. Clifton.
I'm Jack Clifton. I was raised in Jeanerette. I've been here pretty much all of my life, with the exception of about 12 years. I moved up to North Louisiana, followed a job there, good job. I don't have probably all of the flash and dash competitor here has. I mean, the guy does have some good things. I moved to Laurelville. I'm going to retire in Laurelville. I have family from Laurelville. I have wanted to start to get involved in the Laurelville area. I've only been there a year. It's been taking me that long just to get my house in order. So far as what Laurelville's needs are, I don't know that yet. That's just here, gonna come as time comes. I thought this would be my first step. I came here to serve. I've been a public servant for quite a while now, and I really love it. It's just something I like doing. I like to help people. That's pretty much, if y'all have anything you'd like to know. I think I covered a lot of things with just about everybody in here a couple of weeks ago. But
Okay.
I
Well,
just appreciate
anybody-
your
any
consideration.
questions?
And I
Okay,
thank each
thank
and
you,
every
Jack.
one of you.
Okay, so it's ballot voting. Okay. Mr. Gonsalas.
Yeah, just a brief statement, but, far too often, this council, has made statement that we were looking for qualified individuals to post up for positions on commissions or any capacity in this parish, and we can see the trend that we're getting qualified individuals on every appointment now. We have two gentlemen that are super qualified. I commend you both for putting your names up to serve. But let's remember that this council is appointing just for an interim, but the people will have their voice in November to vote for this position, and I just want to commend you both, you guys, for stepping up to the plate to serve.
Okay. Mr. Trahan.
I feel like Ricky, we're looking for qualified people. This is a hard decision for me to make. In fact, I still ain't made my decision right here. I just have to go with what I got, and I commend both of y'all putting up y'all names and that. I had numerous phone calls on both of y'all, and I just got to make my decision. Thank y'all.
Mr. Gashasan.
I guess I'll say maybe just about the same thing both of those gentlemen said, but Mr. Chairman, all due respect, I think both of the guys are highly qualified and both are great people from the community, and I just want to thank them for stepping up to the plate. Not only are they subject themselves to public service, but their family, and that's a big job to take on. We all know that up here. that whatever happens with us happens with our families. And I just want to thank those guys for stepping forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Dugan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ditto pretty much on what everybody said tonight. Now, I do want to remind y'all that in a small community like Lorville, it puts neighbor against neighbor, and there's a lot of competition going on, and there's a lot of hurt feelings right now. But I would encourage y'all to, both candidates, to keep trying to get active in the community. And next time an election comes around, y'all remember qualifications do matter. Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. Has everybody sent in their little papers? We got all them. Okay. District 1, Chad Hazelwood. District 2, Chad Hazelwood. District 4, Jack Clifton. District 5, Jack Clifton. District 6, Jack Clifton. District 7, Jack Clifton. District 8, Chad Hazelwood. 9, Chad Hazelwood. District 11, Chad Hazelwood. District 13, Jack Clifton. District 14, Chad Hazelwood. It's going to be a revote. Let me get the exact numbers. Jack had 5. We had 5 votes for Jack Clifton and 6 votes for Mr. Hazelwood, so it's a revote. Oh, and with 3 people absent, yes. Mr. Gauch is saying?
Mr. Chairman, on clarification, if the decision's not made by the council tonight, that would put who in charge of the decision next?
If we have 20 days to make a decision at the
And-
end of, yeah, to July 20th.
Do we have another meeting within that time frame?
No, we do not. It'll
So
be
if it's
the
not
next-
made tonight, they would either have a special meeting or the governor would make the appointment?
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How many do you want? 2 or 3? Votes? Before we go to the table. Okay. After this one? 3. 3.
Okay, District 1, Chad Hazelwood. District 2, Chad Hazelwood. District 4, Jack Clifton. District 5, Jack Clifton. District 6, Jack Clifton. District 7, Jack Clifton. District 8, Chad Hazelwood. District 9, Chad Hazelwood. District 11, Chad Hazelwood. District 13, Chad Hazelwood. District 14, Chad Hazelwood.
7-5. 7 seats. Still not been.
Okay, we had 3 votes for Jack Clifton, 7 for Mr. Hazelwood.
Is it 4 and 7?
4 for Jack Clifton, 7 for Mr. Hazelwood, and 3 absent. Okay, roll. Let's vote again.
Let the governor decide?
revote. Oh. Okay, Mr. Trahan?
Yes, would y'all entertain a motion to defer to our next meeting or to a special call meeting?
The next meeting would be too late. It would be the 27th. So, and after that, it would be a special election. A special meeting, yeah. Mr. Goshasan?
Oh, Mr. Chairman, I was still on from the get-go, I'm sorry.
Okay. Mr. Brown?
Before we do this next vote, you think the two candidates want to talk before, because I'm gonna tell you, if it goes around this time, we're gonna let the governor do it. I'm not, I'm not making the call. I'm asking if they would want to discuss it among themselves. I'm not telling them what to do.
No, I'm saying you can't make the call that we're going to the governor.
No, it's his thought.
I ain't coming for no special meeting, not me.
Okay,
So I'm just saying, I don't know whether they want to talk about it or what.
Okay, let's revote.
All right?
Okay, District 1, Chad Hazelwood. District 2, Chad Hazelwood. District 4, Jack Clifton. District 5, Jack Clifton. District 6, Jack Clifton. District 7, Jack Clifton. District 8, Chad Hazelwood. District 9, Chad Hazelwood. District 11, Chad Hazelwood. District 13, Chad Hazelwood. District 14, Chad Hazelwood. Okay, it's 7 for Jack Clifton, 7 for Chad Hazel, 4. I'm stuck on 3. Jack Clifton has 4, Chad Hazelwood has 7, and we have 3 absent.
No, you do.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Goshasan.
Mr. Chairman, with the consent of the council, I'd like for an idea to be entertained that if a vote can't be conclusive, that we think about sending it to Baton Rouge for an ultimate decision if it's okay with the council. I mean, I hate to let someone else make a decision, but I hate to be in gridlock here all tonight. So if you want to entertain, maybe, I'll yield to a consensus is
Ms.
made.
Broussard?
I would request that we go on to summary number 131 and 132 and then come back to it.
Okay, so I'm going to go on to summary number 131, introduced by Planning Commission, a resolution granting final approval to Placo subdivision consisting of 4 lots to be located off of Leonce Terrio Road, which subdivision also includes a private road, District 3. Note, a motion to suspend the rules will be needed for this item as it was not considered by the Public Works Committee. So what we're looking for is a motion and a second to suspend the rules. I have Mr. Goshasan has a motion, and Ms. Broussard has a second. Mr. Goshasan?
I'll waive, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Broussard?
Wait.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and vote now to suspend the rules. Mike? Okay, that motion passes. We've suspended the rules now. So now we're going to, I need a motion and a second for the actual summary. I have a motion by Michael Landry, a second by Mr. Gonsalam. Michael Landry? Mr. Gonsalas?
I waive.
Roll call. Mr. Brown? Okay, that motion passes. Okay, summary number 132, introduced by Fire Protection District Number 1, a resolution amending the 2018 Fire Protection District Number 1 fund in the amount of $300,540 to provide various budget adjustments to the 2018 budget. All is approved by the Fire Protection District Number 1 Board. I need a motion by Mr. Trahan, a second by Ms. Broussard. Mr. Trahan? Ms. Broussard?
Wait.
Okay, roll call. That motion passes. Okay, we're going back to summary number 130. Is there any discussion on the council? Okay. That's the end. Ms. Broussard?
I don't want the governor to have to decide. I think that would be harmful to the village of Laurelville to delay this position to be filled till that happens. And look forward to the campaigning and the competition, and glad that the voters get to decide in November. That's it.
That's it. Okay. Mr. Gonsalas?
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Broussard that, you know, we look forward to the November election in the fall and all the talents to come out and the comments, and I think you both have a good fight on your hands. But, you know, as an elected official, I never want to relinquish my duties as an elected official to vote on something. So I think it's our due diligence as a council to select an interim person for this position now, tonight, and move forward.
Michael Landry?
Seriously, I really think this is a tough vote, and I think it's a salute to the people of Laurelville. They got two people willing to serve. That's very qualified. But I think we need to make a decision. This council need to make a decision, one way or the other.
Okay. Mr. Dugal?
Yeah, I just want to make one point for clarification. I hear people talk about the village of Laurelville. Ward 3 it's a lot more than just the village of Laurelville. There's a lot of people involved in this, and so I just don't want them to think that it's just the village of Laurelville that's putting them here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other discussion? Let's go ahead and vote one more time. Okay.
Seems to me that I'm just not gonna have the votes to get where I wanna be tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and concede to Mr. Hazelwood. Thank you for everything. I know this has been quite an ordeal, unprecedented and abnormal, but, you know, thank y'all for your patience and your time.
All right.
Mr. Hazelwood? Thank you, Jack.
Okay.
Make money matter.
We have to appoint Chad. A motion and a second to appoint him. Okay. Okay, what I'm looking for now is, I'm looking for a motion and a second that we're going to go ahead and appoint Mr. Hazelwood. I have a motion by Mr. Dugal, a second by Mr. Napier. Mr. Dugal?
Just go ahead with the vote.
Okay, Mr. Napier?
Huh?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
To appoint Chad.
Okay, well, congratulations, Mr. Hazelwood.
He did make the motion.
Well, I did.
Now he has the board to discuss.
Yeah. I just want to congratulate him. You still have to go out and campaign. You still have to win this election, and just this appointment does not guarantee you're going to get that job.
Can I make a couple
Yeah.
of comments?
Yes, come on up to the podium.
First, you know, I never intended on this to be any heartburn or any burden on anyone. 2 years ago, I was considering this position long before Mr. Clifton came along. And I know Mr. Clifton, and I acknowledge what you did just now, and I respect that, and I thank you. I look forward to serving the community, and I hope Mr. Clifton continues to move in that position. I mean, they confused the constable with the justice of the peace. There is a justice of the peace position. This is the constable position. So I would hope he would look at considering pursuing that. So I just want to thank each and every one of y'all, and I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Napier? Wave, okay.
To make a comment to Jack, who I've been knowing a very long time, thank you for putting yourself up to this and for wanting to serve the ward and all that. And to Chad, same to you. And yet this only puts you in for a few months. You know, y'all gonna both have to hit the campaign trail, and I wish y'all luck. But thank y'all for wanting to serve. I appreciate that. Thank y'all.
Mr. Trahan?
I want to thank both of y'all and that, and I just I hold you up to the oath of the office, Chad and Jack. I appreciate what you've done tonight, and I want to thank you on doing that.
Okay, no other discussion, roll call. Okay, that motion passes. Mr. Chad Hazelwood has been appointed for the interim position. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to the,
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Before you do that, can I, and I apologize, we need to return and revisit summary number 129. I'm sorry I didn't notice that summary number 4922, which is one of the ordinances to be introduced for publication, they relate to each other. And so I would suggest that you revisit summary 129 and table that until July the 25th. The problem is you have a rezoning, and the rezoning has to be done by ordinance. Because it's done by ordinance, it's got to be advertised according to the Home Rule Charter. So that's what's delaying the adoption of that ordinance. I think it would be not a good idea to have a preliminary and final approval of a subdivision before the land upon which that subdivision covers is actually rezoned. So it would be my suggestion that you revisit summary 129, table it to the 25th. That way you can take up the rezoning and the subdivision all at the same time and be done with it. There would be no questions about it. I don't want any questions from a title examiner or anybody else.
okay, yeah, we got that. We got Mr. Gonsalas going to make the motion to reconsider, I believe.
Make a motion to reconsider summary 129 based on the DA's suggestions.
And we have Mr. Napier with a second. You second that, okay. Any discussion? Okay. Yes, Mr. Scott.
Just to clarify on the floor, this is just a vote to reconsider first, right?
Right.
Make sure.
Okay. Roll call. Oh, Mr. Dugal?
Yeah. So, look, my concern here is that this has been going on and on. This is this going to get any better, or are we going to be more efficient at doing these things? I mean, because, these people are trying to sell the property. And so we keep delaying and delaying. We delayed it from the last meeting, now we're delaying it again. And at some point, we got to get a handle on this, because that's not good for business. So I'm going to vote to delay, because that's the only way to move it forward at this point, I think. So, thank you.
Okay. And I think, yep, okay. Any other discussion? Roll call. Ricky. Brian. Ricky. Okay, that motion passes. Now that's a reconsider, so now we're going to revote. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we have a, we're going to vote on the table. 25th. Okay, we have Mr. Gonsalas.
Yeah, I make a motion to table this summary number 129 to the July 23rd meeting.
25th.
25th meeting.
Okay. Ms. Broussard? Okay. Ms. Napier?
No, I was.
Okay, no further discussion. Roll call. Okay, that table passes, so we've tabled that to July 25th. Okay, now we're going to be moving on to the expansions. Well,
That expansion.
yeah, okay. Item number 1, discuss and consider a motion to expand the agenda to discuss and consider the following items and special business. 1C, executive session pursuant to LARS 4217-2 regarding litigation entitled Rodney Leger, ETA versus Iberia Parish Government, Civil Action Number 617-CV-01927, United States District Court, Western District of Louisiana, Lafayette Division, as removed from the 16th Judicial District Court, Division G, docket 130-773 for discussion. Ricky J. Gonsalam, District 8. The purpose of this expansion is to hear the information regarding said entitled litigation stated above. So we're going to need a motion and a second to go into public hearing. I got Mr. Napier. Mr. Gonsalam?
Second?
Okay. Roll call. Okay, that motion passes. We're now in public hearing. Is there any public comments on any of this? Okay, so hearing none, need a motion and a second to go back into regular session. Mr. Gonsalam?
I move to go back into regular session.
Ms. Broussard? Mr. Napier? Roll call. Okay, that motion passes. We're now back in regular session. Okay, now we're going to be voting to expand the agenda. We need a motion and a second for that. We have a motion by Mr. Napier, a second by Michael Landry. Mr. Napier? Okay, Mr. Michael Landry? Okay, this will take 14 votes, so, we're 12 then, okay. 11. Yeah.
Unanimous.
I used to get spanked by Brother George, so, anyway, we're going for 11 now. Here we go, roll call. A bunch. Brian and Joel.
I was thinking about that.
Okay, that motion passes. We are now in executive session. We've expanded, now we're going, okay. Okay, so, okay, we have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Mr. Pollard to go into executive session.
Can I,
Okay,
Mr. Landry, you might want to consider, because Mr. McGoffin is here, you might want to take his matter up first. If
Yes.
you want to, at that point in time, you could recess this meeting, go to your committees, take care of committees, and come back and take care of the last two items, and that way people wouldn't have to wait.
Okay.
It just a thought.
right. So are we in executive session now?
No,
Okay.
I may move to go in executive
Okay,
session.
we have a motion by Ms. Broussard to go into executive, and I have a second by Mr. Gonsalam. Roll call. Okay, we're now, that motion passes. We're now in executive session. So if we could go ahead and clear the room and turn off the camera. Okay, Mr. Gonsalam's making a motion.
I'd like to make a motion in reference to special business 1A, that Iberia Parish Council hereby confirms the appointment of Barry McGoffin and/or firm of Duro, McGoffin, Stagg, and Ackerman, P.C. as special counsel to represent Iberia Parish government regarding any issue arising out of or in any way connected with the matter of Errol Romero versus Iberia Parish government, number 129553, on the civil docket of the 16th Judicial Court, Iberia Parish, Louisiana, hereafter sometimes referred to as the Errol Romero claim, and that the grant of authority to pay the cost and fees incurred in connection with the such legal representation from the Risk Management Fund at a rate from $175 to $300 per hour for attorney services. Section 2. Iberia Parish Council hereby acknowledges and confirms the previous grant of authority to settle any and all claims arising out of or in any way connected with the Errol Romero claim for the sum of $6,783.76, together with any adjustments for the employer portion of any associated retirement contributions as recommended by special counsel of Iberia Parish Government. Section 3. The Iberia Parish Council acknowledges and specifically rejects the various offers to settle the Errol Romero claim received from the council for Errol Romero. Section 4. As a result of the rejection by the council of Errol Romero of the offer settled the Errol Romero claim as set forth in Section 2, here and above, in the Iberia Parish Council confirms with the adjudication of any of all pretrial exceptions or motions currently pending or deemed appropriate by special counsel for Iberia Parish Government.
Okay, what we're gonna do is, now we're gonna go ahead and have an expansion. It's gonna be summary number 133. So I need a motion and a second to go into public hearing. I have a motion by Mr. Napier, a second by Mr. Michael Landry. Mr. Napier? You waive, okay. Michael? I waive. Okay, at this time, we're in public comments. Is anybody in the, roll call.
Any comments on the resolution?
That motion passes. Now we're in public comments. Is anybody in the public would like to stand up and make any comments on the resolution 133? Hearing none, I need a motion and a second to go back into regular session. I have a motion by Mr. Napier, a second by Mr. Gonsalam. Mr. Napier? Regular session, Mr. Gonsalam? Okay, roll call. Okay, that motion passes. Now we're gonna go ahead and vote to expand the agenda. We'll need all 11 votes. Roll call. Okay, let me back up.
You've already
Hold up that.
expanded.
I need a motion and a second.
We're expanded for the new resolution.
Right. Okay, so I have a motion by Michael Landry, a second by Ricky Gonsalas. Roll call. That motion passes. So now we need a motion and a vote on summary 133 that Ricky just read. I have a motion by Mr. Napier, a second by Michael Landry. Mr. Napier? Michael Landry? Mr. Gonsalas?
I'm clear.
Roll call. That motion passes.
I move to go back into executive session.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Broussard to go back. No.
The camera stays here. I don't want to get by the hour by the camera.
He's-
Finish, counsel.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Broussard to go back into executive session. Give me a second. And a second by Mr. Gonsalas. Ms. Broussard? Roll call. Mr. Gonsalas, Mr. Pollard,
Brian.
Mr.
Joel,
Napier, Joel.
Chad, Marty.
Run it through.
Marty.
Yeah. That motion passes. Okay, so we're back in executive session.
Kick them all out again.
Uh-huh.
Tell them you apologize.
While we were in executive session, we did discuss B and C, and there was no action taken. So now I need a motion to adjourn and a second.
Move.
Have a motion by Pollard and a second by Mr. Napier. Roll call. Okay, we're now adjourned.